All right, we're here with a special early access Gamescon build for Boris Todbringer's upcoming DLC for the Empire. Yeah, we're just going to make a quick video going through a lot of the changes you can expect for his campaign and looking at the new units that I can get to in the first 10 turns. So it'll be kind of a hodgepodge video. Buckle up, should be some fun. First up, as soon as you start out, you can see Boris's new model. Does have a big bushy red beard and flowing cape and all that garbage. He also has a special legendary hero, Emil Valgir. He announces it himself. And he is the legendary hero version of these Ulrican battle priest guys. So they have a kind of like the Kislev prayers, right? It's not actually spells, you can just use them, but there's a vortex spell available at rank 10. Winter's Chill, which is a debuff for all enemies in range. Battle Howl is a speed buff for you and your friends. And then Fury of Ulrich gives all your units fear and leadership when it's active. And in the circle, of course. Other than that, he is a melee-focused extra hero guy. Only has a Warhorse for a mount. For Toddy, I don't know if his skill tree really had that many changes. He did get Eye Gouger, which is a little different. Eye for an Eye and Eye Gouger are just he applies blinded to enemies and gets a bunch of extra buffs for himself. He can become unbreakable as he's protector of the Empire. Other than that, he's the Toddy you remember. Probably going to go red, yellow trees for him, maybe blue. Yeah. Still has Griffin, Pegasus, Barded Warhouse mount, so nothing too crazy there just yet. Of course, he has new units as well, but we'll get to them. There's a new Lord, the Zenishal. Yeah, I'll just recruit one. You know what? I'll recruit one so y'all can see it. So he's got a wolf on his head, and then he does have some special trees he can go up that either helps with his campaign performance or more of his own individual performance. Other than that, he is a, just melee-focused lord. Still has only a Barded Warhorse for a mount, and he doesn't actually have the prayers that Archlector-looking guy had. So, just kind of a different combat lord, different than the General of the Empire if you didn't want to run the General for some reason. And then for heroes, we do have the Priest, which I'll have to upgrade this to get the Priest. There he is, Priest of Ulrich. So we'll see what that guy does in a little bit. I'll really focus on getting this settlement to tier 2 for y'all. So yeah, in that case, I should probably get some growth buildings and get moving, huh? Okay, what else at the very start? We do have this Fervor thing, which I need to get some Fervor before I unlock it, so I'll talk more about it a little later, but you do get Fervor for killing things, and then the Electric Count of Vinland has his own little tech area down here. Gives you some diplomacy with the Empire, some buffs for your Ulrican units. Mostly just that. I mean, it all makes sense, but I'm going to grab on the prowl for now.
Will benefit from this.
Any other mechanics I can show turn 1? Not really, so we will probably just get this going. Oh yeah, Regiments of Renown. There are some in here. So the Hounds of Ulrichsburg Hunting Hound Regiment of Renown exists. And then, actually I wonder, is there a way, can I go to the unit browser? Unit browser, campaign search, pages, menu. I'm used to just right-clicking on these guys, and that takes me to the unit browser. But there's no spells. I can't right-click on nothing. Damn it! I'll investigate. 1 second. All right, we're in with the units. The unit browser might be disabled in this version, which is okay. There's a lot of stuff that's disabled. So I'm going to try and win this battle versus the Skaven settlement by just using the new units. In case you're wondering where the injuries came from, I just auto-resolved versus the piss-poor original Skaven army. So, all right, to all my units that I've had in the game before, get out of here, shoo. So what do we have in the starting army that I care about? We have Boris himself on foot with his eye for an eye, so I can blind something. Emil... Hammer Axe of Scroll. Yeah, Hammer Axe. Okay, cool. 75% more damage for him and 24 melee attack. Damn. And then the Fury of Ulrich, so I can already cause fear. Wolfkin, Armor-Piercing Great Axe Infantry. Very aggressive, very high stats with Frenzy. Tunisian Guard, Immune to Psychology, Armor Sundering, Heavy armor piercing, and then 2 warriors of Ulrich, 41 melee attack on a sword infantry with bonus versus infantry of 6. So yeah, pretty aggressive there. Oh, and then I do have the Knights of the White Wolf. These are not the Knights Panther, they're just immune to psychology, crush the weak, having armor piercing, heavy cav with decent stats. So should be good, should be fun. Gonna rely on my cavalry to do a lot of work here, but we'll see how well the Ulrican units chew up a bunch of Skaven, huh? Let's go! So first up, Knights of the White Wolf, gonna charge some random clan rats. Don't know why you two are retreating. Probably clicked something dumb. That's probably on me. Probably. Though I do like taking no responsibility. While we charge, let's get a close-up on some of these new beautiful units. Knights of the White Wolf armed with hammers and wolfskin cloaks as they charge ahead. Ramming into braced clan rats. Obviously not going to do too much damage, and then I pull them back. Elsewhere, we have Wolfkin, the dual swords, warriors of Ulrich, who just jump straight in onto those Skaven slaves, and then the beautiful Teutogen Guard, also with hammers. A lot of hammers going around. All right, Cav, get on the Skaven slave slingers. Skaven also appear to have gotten some new animations, by the way. I see whenever they swing, these are just basic clan rats, but when they're swinging, there's a lot of, you know, little warpstone type effects. And already with the fear, we've routed these Skaven slaves. So now we'll turn our focus inward. How are our cavalry doing? Ooh, they instantly crushed the Skaven slaves. All right, let's see how we do with a nice juicy rear charge. Okay, form up a little bit so you don't run in half-assed. And now try and hit them. We're losing some warriors of Ulrich. I don't want to have to rebuy a new unit this early, so I'm not going to do that. Rear charge, routing some Skaven. Not crazy damage, but sometimes rear charges can be a little finicky in that way. All right, Skaven are routing. I'm going to send the Teutogen Guard that way, and then I'll send Boris and the Wolfkin over here. I'm going to run my warriors of Ulfric away. Whoa! Oh, crap. Clan Rat summons. Oh, that's what got my cannons. I was like, what the hell's going on back here? All right. Wasn't paying attention to that. So another thing we didn't really talk about, but is, I would think, evident at this point, Boris starts at war with some Skaven in his territory, which is kind of interesting. I do believe that's new. I think it's odd he doesn't start at war with Beastmen, but I actually do kind of get it with a different mechanic we'll have to talk about later because it's not available from turn 1, but we will talk about it in this video. But don't worry, the Beastmen exist, but they're not his starting foe, which I find interesting. Anyway, as you can see, the Ulrican Battle Priest does not use Winds of Magic or anything, just use relatively low cooldowns as my cav charge back in. Knights of the White Wolf don't do the most impact damage, as you've seen over and over again in this example. So I do think they're kind of meant to be anti-cav fighters with a significant armor-piercing component. They're better against armored infantry than clearing mass amounts of chaff. But it is what it is. The fear, cloaking my warriors in sparkly blue wonder, is going to get the Skaven a routing. And there they go. Nice charge in from the Knights of the White Wolf. Should probably wrap this game up. There go the Skaven slaves. And the battle is done. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's done. I'll see you guys on the campaign map. I like the Warriors of Ulrich are solid. Wolfkin are very solid. Teutogen Guard are good elite infantry. The Knights of the White Wolf struggle with just killing a mass amount of Skaven, so I won't hold that against them too much. Yeah, they got 170 kills still, so not bad. Running around, scattering the Skaven. Solid unit. So as we're back on the campaign map, we do have this Fervor thing, which I did mention earlier we would get to. You can see it's kind of like the bounty system several factions have gotten, where you can hover over enemies or locations, settlements, and they'll tell you how much Fervor you'll get for taking them. You notice that the Imperial provinces have none. I don't get any Fervor for attacking other Imperials. So it is trying to convince you to go and fight the enemies of the Empire rather than do some infighting, which is a cool mechanic to get you to kind of play more like you should. And it also gives you different bounties depending on how evil something is viewed. Like Greenskins 200, while Wood Elves are only 100. It's like, yeah, they're kind of an enemy of the Empire, but not a huge enemy. 250 for the likes of Nurgle. I like that, you know, that's solid. It's a good way to get you to engage in the mechanic and try and actually defend the Empire rather than like sniping out Franz early, taking Altdorf and unifying that way, which, I mean, you can do, you just get incentivized less. Ulrich won't get all excited about that sort of thing. But once we get to 400 is when we unlock the Great Temple of Ulrich, and then I'll show you more with that mechanic in a little bit. So for a quick look at the new units and the building browser, I'm looking at Middenland, so we can see Boris's special buildings. You can get the Cult of Ulrich special building all the way up to the Fortress Temple of Middenheim. Essentially, you get better replenishment rate for Swords of Ulrich, Priest of Ulrich buffs, a bunch of anti-corruption things. So they just want you to recruit more of the heroes and lords of Ulrich, and you get some fervor per turn. Unlocks recruitment of Swords of Ulrich, Electric Count State troops in general, yeah. And then the ones before it just let you unlock all of the Ulrich specific units in tiers. So you get Knights of the White Wolf and the Tutored Guard from tier 3, Wolfkin and the Priest Hero, tier 2, and tier 1 you get Warriors of Ulrich. So a lot of the DLC stuff is included in that. And then if you want the hounds, the hunting hounds, you can get the Landmark tier 2 building that just gives them a bunch of buffs. That's also really, really good. So those are two good buildings. For the other units that are in the DLC and where you normally can buy the rest of them, we do have the Altar of Ulrich Blue Tree building. You can get most of the units there. Wolf, Hunting Dogs, Priest of Ulrich, all these guys. But the Knights Panther are in the tier 3 Cavalry building, if you want those, just anti-large, high-stat Knights in general. And then way up next to the Luminarch of Hysh, we do have the Celestial Hurricanum. Looks like kind of the Grand Cathay's Chariot, but it does have a brand new spell that I'm curious about. Direct damage area, 2 uses, and it builds up over 32 seconds, up to 200 damage per second. But it also has Lightning Strike and Potence of Battle. So I wonder if it's might be random. Duration 4 seconds, cooldown, shared cooldown, so might be random as it's in melee, just kind of throwing shit around it. Don't know. We'll have to pick it up, but I don't know if I can get one in 10 turns, so it seems unlikely. Thought I'd just show you here. That seems to be all the new units I noticed. As I scroll through, yeah, I don't see anything else besides that. No special things at the basic buildings. So Celestial Hurricanum is here. Some kind of magical support chariot. Gives you power recharge. +5 melee attack if you're nearby, and then that Raging Tornado, Meteor Strike, and Lightning Strike. So yeah, looks like a version of the Grand Cathay Celestial Compass. All right, so here we go. Finally got enough fervor to trigger some of the things. So the province of Middenland is once more under Boris Todbringer's banners, but the Empire's under attack. I'm not going to read this whole thing for you, but the main point is Boris Todbringer gets a Drakwald Threat mechanic. Beastmen armies will just kind of pop up around Middenland throughout your campaign. And there's a bar. There we go. There's a bar at the top that tells you how threatening things are. So you start the game in low threat, though it's really close to medium. Invasions are common and the armies that spawn are dangerous. And in high threat, invasions are frequent. The armies that spawn are very dangerous. And apparently, as you upgrade the Sacred Flame... Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it! So many okay. As you upgrade this thing, apparently, as you get to the top 24, you once you get 24 upgrades in it, you will have a quest battle against Kazric One-Eye. That should be pretty metal. And until then, Kazric is going to send various little beastman armies that just kind of pop up in your territory and cause a ruckus. So that is a way to get Kazric more in the campaign with Boris rather than just spawning him up here. And it's actually kind of a clever solution, in my opinion, to the problem of the Northern Empire. The Northern Empire was getting really crowded with Kazric, the Black Pit, Lorelorn Forest, Middenheim, and then Festus, and Nordland always gets murdered by Wulfric. There's also Golgi up here, and then usually from the south, the vampires will come up, or Chaos will come down or something. So it's just I don't know, this area just kind of gets massacred. So taking one lord out of it entirely and just tying him to a campaign mechanic around Boris is pretty interesting. So I wonder what they did with Kazric on the main map for everybody else. I wonder if you're just not playing a Middenheim campaign if he's up here, or I don't know. But that's what they did with Kazric, so he's technically still around. As for this, there are, as you can see, 6 different altars you can pray to. The first 2 are easier to unlock. Then the next ones have specific requirements: own 5 regions, have 10 Cult of Ulrich units, construct 1 building from the Cult of Ulrich chain, and then Imperial Authority is at 65. But they do different things, and as you upgrade them more, the effects get more intense. But the basic concept is the High Altar of Ulrich reveals some festival dilemmas, so it'll give you little extra bonus abilities, and then you get some fervor and control in all your provinces. It's pretty good for the early game. And then Pilgrim's Retreat that we can get right now unlocks Winter Rite, Stride of the White Wolf. You can use fervor to get extra vigor in battle. Interesting. And then you're immune to diplomatic penalties from trespassing in the Empire, which is nice. So it's a movement based one. Next one helps out your hunting hounds and gives you access to them through Boris's special instant recruitment thing. He has his own, it's like the Regiments of Renown, you can just instantly recruit units from there, but they have to be Ulrican units and he has to spend fervor to do it. So that shrine, if I had 5 regions, would unlock, so I could get some hunting dogs. Have 10 Cult of Ulrich units, gives me fervor when they die. Another one of those rites that you can perform for buffs using fervor, and then catch your punishment for those units. 5th one gives replenishment for armies with a priest of Ulrich in enemy territory. That's actually kind of sick. And then experience gain for the priests. Nice. And then the last one, it unlocks Teutogen Guard and Knights of the White Wolf for that special recruitment menu I was just talking about. And then another rite that does forces will be joined in battle by 4 reinforcing units. Huh. So they unlock different rights and stuff. To start this one off, I'm actually going to hold on to my stuff and get the Statue of the White Wolf so I can recruit hunting hounds faster for the sake of showing you all these things. Otherwise, we'd get the festival one. So for now, I'm going to hold on to it until I conquer one more thing. Oh, Boris. What to do with you? I suppose people don't need to watch me do this. Spend my points. They don't need to see it. You can turn off the video. No, stop it! Stop it! All right, got ourselves a little battle. Festus is proving to be a bit of a problem, so we're gonna try and deal with him. Is roughly the idea. All right, moving my formation up just a little bit. Let's take a specific point. He's gonna be fine letting me regroup, apparently, which is okay. Didn't know if he would bum rush me or not, so I'm gonna put my cannon on this little teeny tiny hill here. Since he's gonna give me the time of day, I'll move my archers out of the way of the cannons so that I don't have to deal with that too much. And yeah, so we have some warriors of Ulrich front line with the Wolfkin. My priest guy, Emil, does not have a horse yet, so he is going to just hang out with the front line and provide combat support. Meanwhile, Boris is mobile, so he'll help out the Knights of the White Wolf. I have reinforcements coming, the deadly reinforcements of checks notes a single Seneschal. And now that I kind of know where the battle lines are going to end up, I'm going to back my archers up a smidge so they don't end up on top of each other. I did want 2 warriors of Ulrich as reinforcements in case a certain part of the line starts breaking or something. But cannons in position. Do you seriously not have anybody in range you can force them to start walking towards us? Okay, all right. You can just mosey forward a tiny amount and hit those Chaos Warriors. You'll be fine. All right, let's send Boris and the Knights of the White Wolf out to try and get some cycle charging damage for a little bit. Don't love that the battle got shifted here, but that's okay. Yeah, it's all right. Tighten up a little bit, so we'll be fine. But the cannon's now gonna punish them. I have some spears in the flank just in case people feel like coming up and around. And my archers are still well within range of the front lines. They'll be okay. Sure, our reserves are nice and nearby. Where's that Seneschal? 7 seconds left. Let's see what base stuff he brings to the party. I think he's only level 2. He accompanied me in a free settlement battle off screen, so he's not exactly that upgraded. He has just arrived, but I'm busy checking my phone. Okay, that doesn't look important. Dog's gonna shake really loudly. Thanks, dog. So what do we have? Commanding presence, immune to psychology, and plus leadership, and then charmed shield. So he's already pretty tanky. Okay, I'll put him over here and make sure that this flank doesn't fall. Cannons continuing to fire, yet Nurgle remains cowardly. Okay. I need to break this up for just 1 second. In case I am informed I cannot show this yet, by the way, fighting Festus, I did find out he has Flayerkin now. So they're like weird scythe-wielding monstrosities. Am I being attacked? Not really. Scythe-wielding monstrosities, decent melee attack, good weapon strength, bonus versus infantry, high leadership, and they have a special ability where if they're under missile fire, they get a speed boost and vigor back and missile resistance. So that's pretty interesting. Anyway, I needed to clip that out in case they tell me I can't show that. So there's one of the new Nurgle units. We just stumbled upon it. All right, we're back. So I didn't notice that the Exalted Hero of Nurgle was just sprinting at my front line. Cannon's going to pivot on to Festus the Leech Lord, and let's go kill Samuel Ludenhoff, shall we? Dogs and Skirmish Cav are in fact coming, and my Knights of the White Wolf are falling back because I was busy doing stuff that may or may not make it into the video. We'll find out. Okay. I'm just going to 1v1 Sammy here, and I'm going to bring Boris back to help me actually 2v1 him. So my Knights of the White Wolf can just hang out for a second. Sammy's doing a little dance. I don't love it. All right, let's just charge him, charge his ass. Okay, counterfire those skirmish cav. You shoot at the Nurglings on their way in. These archers can shoot at the Flayerkin. And you can shoot at the Chaos Trolls. Lovely. Boris gonna try and blind Sammy so that he has less melee stats. Spears are eating that charge. Skirmish cav are just vibing on the side, so I don't need my main cav over there yet. Ooh, and the Flayer can charge straight into the Tutagen Guard, so they are going to have a bad time. Nurglings as well. And we're still just trying to snipe out that Exalted Hero. We have some Chaos Warriors Halberds going the long way around, but it is what it is. I did have some breaks already, so I'm going to buff these guys' leadership up. And I'm a little slow on this, but let's bring some White Wolf's boys over here. Cannon, back off as you are able. I'm going to send some cav over there. I'll rely on Boris and my priest to hold that area. Tutagen Guard still holding well. Chaos Trolls have broken through, so I'm actually going to bring one of my reserves down here, as everybody else seems rather busy. All right, rear charge in from the Knights of the White Wolf did rout those Flayerkin, but the front line is in trouble, so I'm going to send the Knights up there now as these guys bail out the cannons. And the cannons continue to pull back, just get a little bit of distance. And those are Chaos Warriors, which is going to be problematic for me. Okay, archers, turn and fire at the trolls. Boris and whatever your name is, Emil, need to finish off this Exalted Hero of Nurgle, so that we can turn our attentions on to Festus. Cavalry charge has lost its impetus, so I will be falling back now. Knights of the White Wolf, not Knights of the White Wolf, you guys are just Warriors of Ulrich, are back. Archers continue to pour fire into those trolls, but how about getting slammed in the face with a bunch of knights? Boris and the boys struggling a little bit. Let's go get Festus. Knights are going to hammer into those Chaos Trolls as we get some archers back. The Chaos Warriors are breaking through. We don't love that. Gotta give everybody in this area a little bit of extra gusto, so that they stop routing, you cowards. Chaos Warriors took out my cannon. That's not great. Armor-piercing knights, charge them, please. Archers continue to fall back, except for you, who's already shooting Chaos Warriors in the bum-bum. You can shoot Chaos Warriors in the bum-bum, that's fine. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Kill Festus, please. We do need him dead. quite badly. Curse of the Slug, Curse of the Slug. Alright, mites are getting slowed down by the Curse of the Slug. Cannon's offline, which is pretty bad, but Festus is routing, which is great. I'm gonna have my foot characters stop chasing Festus because they'll just get in Boris's way. Boris should be able to finish this off. The cavalry need to refresh their charge on the Chaos Warriors while these archers are doing their jobs. These ones are wandering into melee. Don't really know why that's happening. Stop it. Stop it. Boris has gotten Festus, which is a pretty big win for us. So I'm going to charge down and help the Teutogen Guard. We have killed off those Chaos Warriors, so what I'm going to do now is order all my archers to shoot the Plague Bearers and Nurglings. One archer's going to have to defend itself from Skirmish Cav. Another archer might have to defend itself from Halberds, but we'll see how that goes in the long term, shall we? Boris is in. Nurglings are crumbling. Plague Bearers are almost dead, so the archers are doing their jobs. I have some sleepies in the distance that need to come back. More Chaos Warriors and Nurgle are a little problematic. Got some more Warriors of Ulrich back, though. That can help me out with these Chaos Warriors. I don't really want to charge my Knights of the White Wolf into them, so I'm going to charge the Knights of the White Wolf down into Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. Boris is going to throw out Blinded. You're going to throw out Fear. And the Imperials will fear no longer. Plague Bears are routing off. Archers are having a tough time finding somewhere safe to settle in. Knights of the White Wolf got a decent downhill charge onto those guys. Didn't get a ton of damage out, though. So, they will now charge uphill into that random named character, which I'm assuming is a Chaos Warrior. Everybody here gets a little more leadership, and push them away. I would like my archers to pin cushion those halberds, because the halberds have no shields, just high armor values, but we're currently running away from that random Chaos Warrior, which is not ideal. Okay. This guy's doing good. Emil can get up to nearly 800 weapon strength when his buff is popped, and now everybody's routing. Hooray! And it was a settlement battle, so I don't have to pursue them further. Yeah, so this guy was all right. Commanding presence helped us hold the line for a little bit, and Emil did a lot of good work with his heavy armor piercing this early in the game, killing that exalted hero for me. So, hooray, hooray, hooray! How did the Knights of the White Wolf do? Decent, I guess. Not amazing, but decent. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna grab, now I've saved up for this, so I have 5 regions. I can now get the Statue of the White Wolf, so I'm gonna construct the Sanctuary.
Stand strong, Middenheim.
And I can get the Stalking Stance. What? Wait, what? How does that work? How do I trigger that? Unlocks Winter Rite, Lesson of the Hunt. Oh, there's Winter Rites too. Okay, Stride of the White Wolf. Instantly replenishes. Interesting. So I don't have the altars for those, but you can get some instant replenishment of campaign movement. Interesting. But this is the one I did get. Enables the Stalking Stance. Enables chance of ambushing an enemy army. This army attacks. Ambushes are guaranteed to succeed. Ooh. Ambushes are guaranteed to succeed. In battles, enemy units and force are revealed regardless of distance. That's actually kind of sick. So you can see anybody in the forest on the entire map, and you get like the Skaven Stalking Stance. That's kind of sick. I'm not going to spend my stuff on it because I wanted to spend my stuff in this. Recruit from the Chosen of Ulrich, so you can instant summon some stuff. And I'm going to instant summon a Hunting Hound. And then I'm going to combine my Spearmen and instant summon another one of these. Wolfkin. I am missing 2 Fervor. Okay. 2 Fervor. Whatever. Turd. I want another Wolfkin, but we'll wait. We'll be patient. But yeah, now I have a Hunting Hound. So I did want to see that. So these are the Hunting Hound stats. 30 melee attack, 21 melee defense. Vanguard deployment, and they get physical resistance? Why and how much? And missile resistance? Why and how much? Whatever. Regiment of Renown. So there was a hunting dog ROR. It gets encourage. Cause fear and encourage only costs 450. Damn, that's pretty cheap. Okay, sick. So there's that. We got our first Ulrican thingy thing. And now I have hunting hounds that I can use in the next battle. Empire doggos. All right, I'm not going to go through another battle, but we have our hunting hounds now, so let's check them out. The doggos of the Empire have little vests on, aren't they? Isn't that cute? They have their little vests, little spikes on their vests. They're so cute. Aw. Who knows what of these are army buffs? Unit rank gives +2, so base value is 28 melee attack, and then 20 melee defense. Pretty high weapon strength, good charge bonus. They have Strider, and now 5% physical resistance, 15% missile resist. Interesting. I'm going to see how they function here with my little Cav Corps now. Boris, and then we do have Battle Howl, so I can give everybody here a little bit more speed and then cause fear and whatnot. So we're gonna do some mobility feasting and see how that goes. This is a Nurgle settlement I'm trying to retake, plus they hired a guy, Azavar, with a couple of units. But we'll deal with him when we have to deal with him. So we'll get some mobility play, and then I'll clean up the rest of the fight off recording. Dun 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 dun. Don't you run away from me. Dun 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 dun. There we go. All right, let's go get him. While we're all clumped up, let's throw out some speed. Whee, speed. Okay, I'm gonna charge his dogs that are on the edge of the map. These marauders with great weapons are trying to get away from me. Let's cancel the charge because I don't really want to charge in great weapon units right now. Okay, give everybody here fear so that we can route these dogs right off the edge of the map. My dogs are taking some damage, but they'll hunt down those Chaos Warhounds. There they go. Got them off the map. Let's fall back. And run away, run away, run away, run away. Okay, if these guys really want to pursue, we can kill them for a bit while Emil tries to get out of there. But, I mean, this was a terrible idea for those skirmish cav to continue pursuing me. So, feast upon their flesh, I guess. Dogs and knights working hand in hand, and those guys are routed. Hope you feel good about yourself. Let's get the hell out of here. My cannon's apparently firing, so the rest of the army must have gotten in range. Yeah, they did. Okay. You can pursue those while I go back to the main army. Archer's just killing off skirmish cav. We do have dogs in the background. Basic Chaos Warhounds also have physical and missile resistance. Interesting, I didn't know that. Huh, you learn something every day. Okay. Well, you saw some shenanigans of the hunting dogs plus the Knights of the White Wolves. That's solid. We'll probably get one more little charge over here, then I'll end this recording and mop up the rest of the battle. But that's so fun. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Empire little doggies. Let's bring you over here. Let's move all of my melee units and not the archers that I accidentally selected. Let's move all my melee units forward a little bit. Just a little bit. Archers, continue punishing those guys. No Nurglings here for me to shoot or anything, so I guess we'll just be happy shooting at Chaos Warriors. You show up and make these guys unbreakable. That is Tullian Pulsators something. I assume that's a Chaos Warrior who was arbitrarily made the Lord. Archers continuing to harass dogs. Gonna get rid of them. I just wanted to make sure they didn't sneak up with my cannon while I wasn't paying attention. So let's shoot some Chaos Warriors and see how this charge goes. Dogs, catch those Marauder Horsemen for me, please. And you pop the charge buff, pop the fear. And in we go. Onto the Chaos Warriors. Not as much damage as I would like on impact, unfortunately. But the dogs are successfully chasing the Marauder Horsemen. Similar speeds, so now they'll just walk those guys off the map. The Empire's dogs now. Hooray! Found a fun little thing. The Midland Runefang got a rework to now have Legbiter. which has that incoming healing modifier minus 100%. So they're adding more of that to the game to reduce some people's healing. I wonder if that'll make it into multiplayer or not. Have to see, but could be a good little healing debuff that Boris can bring along. Okay, so I got a building that lets me get the
Indomitable
Priest of Ulrich now.
blessed by the white wolf.
That is an interesting headdress you have, sir. Anyway, Priest of Ulrich. Let's see. Ulrich's presence, we can get spell and missile resistance for people around him. And then he can get the same spell type things the legendary hero can get. Okay. So he's just kind of a chilled out version of that, but another magic damage, armor piercing melee hero for the Imperial army. I did manage to get Middenheim's building up to 2, which is how I got the priest, but also getting some wolfkin. I'm on turn 10 though, so this is probably going to end at this point. Summary and wrap up. So Boris's new campaign is you're going to get ambushed by beastmen throughout the campaign. As you get further from your capital, you're going to have to leave someone behind to deal with some of those, I imagine. You're building up Fervor to get various buffs, and as you get more buffs, you build towards a fight with Khazric One-Eye. And meanwhile, you need to clean out the Empire of the Empire's foes, buy your altar stuff as you feel like it, and buff up your Ulrican units. Seems pretty neat. Seems pretty fun. I always enjoy a good Empire campaign, so I guess we'll be to the north of Franz helping him out. That is all I have here. I only have a 10-turn access thing, so I think once I hit end turn, it's just going to kick me to the main menu. Didn't get far enough in the tech tree to get the Celestial Hurricanum, obviously. I do have Battle Wizards. Just curious if there's any new lores of magic for the Empire. Nope, just looks normal. Just looks normal. All right. Later, Gators. Hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek and are excited to play some Boris Todbringer. Does look like a very fun campaign compared to his old one, which was definitely outdated, and actually you couldn't even play his old one. So yeah, better than his old one. By his old one, I was just thinking of confederating him as Karl Franz, and I remember his tree was just kind of underwhelming. But yeah, he didn't have a standalone campaign. Here you go. A lot more melee units for the Empire to use. Roar.
Subscribe, yes, yes.